I am here to answer a big question that I feel like I've been asked and I've seen on the timelines. A question that I think makes sense. Do you need to, or should you play Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Odyssey, before playing Donkey Kong Bananza, which will be dropping on July 17th, I believe. If I'm wrong about that, please superimpose that over my face. Actually, don't even put it on the video. Put it on my face. Like right here. I don't deserve it I don't deserve any respect if I got that wrong. Do you need to play this masterpiece of a game that I just finished a couple days ago for the first time before playing Donkey Kong Bananza? I'm here to answer that question and give a little bit of, arguments from both ends, both sides of the aisle here. First one, the biggest one. It's, again, by the way, I want to state this. None of this is definitive, and you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But I'll give you a reason to start off here why you should play it first. Super Mario Odyssey, if you can squeeze it in. First and foremost, it's a Switch 2 enhanced title, which I believe all it did was give it 4K resolution, amongst other things, because it was already 60 FPS, which is great. But that's more for me since I never played it. I never played Super Mario Odyssey. So I just beat it on stream. You're going to see stream highlights of me playing this here, as well as some just higher quality highlights of it here. We'll mix that in, a little me and a little game. So if you didn't play it the first time around, and you want to play it on the Switch 2, and you have a Switch 2, it's a great time to play it. The other reason, this is the biggest one. This is a deep one here. It is the fact that this team, the team behind Donkey Kong Bananza, or so it seems, presumably is the same team behind Super Mario Odyssey. I mean, the resemblance is uncanny. It's so similar. I mean, just the starting point, seeing how DK moves, the world, the lighting, the characters, even like the acquiring of collectibles, it's very much Odyssey, and it is iterative in all the best ways, but it is most importantly additive. It is expanding upon this. You're having skill trees. You're having indestructible environments now. You're having ways to interact with the game that you probably couldn't have done, not as deeply in Odyssey. In DK, presumably, we've seen a lot of the game so far. Different animals. Be an ostrich that can fly just by being a flightless bird. That's the whole joke there. So that's why it's important, or it would be a good reason to, at least. You have that foundational knowledge. Now, how does that matter? Does that really matter? I mean, no, but it would enhance the experience, I think. I think that it's not comparison culture, it's appreciative. It's very much appreciative, and I could speak on this very well, because I'm very excited for Donkey Kong Bananza. I've been excited for Donkey Kong Bananza even before I played Odyssey, because I played it in 4 long sessions on my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/OhChev. Link in the description. And I wanted to do this to experience it with the chat, and also I wanted to play it before Bananza came out, because I know I could see this. I see it. I see the resemblance. But that's reason number 1. This second point here may very well be the most important one, because it's outside of just this one isolated conversation. It's deeper than this, and it's actually part of a larger video that I'm planning on working on, which is about guidebook gaming culture. I'm more 1995. That's when I was born. I'm gonna be 30 this year, and I grew up with guidebooks, but I didn't buy the guidebooks with the intent to help me beat the game. I was too young to even think about that. I was cocky and thought I could just beat the game, no matter what game it was, without a guidebook. I bought it because I just liked having the art, and I was easily swayed. The worker at GameStop or EB Games or whatever it was like, hey, your son might like this. You want this guidebook? I went, yep. Mostly it was for Pokemon games. I think it was almost exclusively for that. I think I might have had one for the Wind Waker, and if I did, I didn't use it, because I was a stubborn child. I didn't like doing something if it wasn't me that figured it out. Whether that's good or bad, we'll see. It made me, growing up, a little arrogant, because I was fortunate enough to be blessed with reasonable intellect. So I could most of the time successfully figure stuff out with intuition and problem solving. So I got a little overconfident. I'm dwindling in my confidence in my later years. But whole point here, I don't know, where am I going with this? Guidebook gaming culture has sort of evolved into Google gaming culture, which I am victim of, or not victim. I am guilty of as well. That's the word. Wrong thing. Not a victim, guilty. Okay. which I am guilty of myself. A couple times through my Breath of the Wild playthrough, first timer, by the way, almost done with the game, there were puzzles that were too frustrating for me. And admittedly, I'm a bit of a time crunch. No excuses, though. So I looked it up. And man, does that ruin the experience. Where am I going with this with Odyssey and Bananza? If you play Odyssey first, it's not super hard by any means, but it will build and hone intuition for you, right? You will learn to develop problem-solving skills, critical thinking skills, which could help you in Donkey Kong Bananza, which looks to be more complex than Odyssey. So part of a larger point here, which is I'm saying that it's making games less fun with Google. It's too easy to Google something and figure it out. I got good at video games, at least these like puzzles and stuff, on a larger scale because I played games like Donkey Kong 64, which is one of my favorite of all time. Please put this here right now. One of my favorite games of all time, without any advice, without any walkthroughs. I was like 6 or something like that. Me and my sister were playing it. She's almost 2 years older than me, and we're both struggling to figure it out. One of my proudest gaming accomplishments is being like 76% of the way through that game. When I was like, we never finished it, but I was like 6 years old, and we did not look up anything. There was no internet really at the time, man, to look that up. I mean, there was internet, but like no one was looking that stuff up, and not me. We still had the bam, bam, bam. Yo, hang up the phone. I'm trying to, like, I had that still, so I wasn't looking any of that stuff up. But because I struggled through that, okay, I'm gonna lie here. I didn't struggle with the Braille thing from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. I had a guidebook for that. But who would have figured that out when I had a guidebook? I don't know Braille. It was 2002? Those games? Two or three? I was 7? Braille. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Bring a Relicanth first in your party and have a Whale Lord all the way in the back. Do the hokey pokey. And then the door will open. And it's not even the end of it. Anyway, I digress. I'm on a tangent right now. You'll get used to these. But because I struggled a lot, not there, but I struggled a lot when I was younger, figuring this stuff out. Fetch quests, Zelda games, Wind Waker, Blind. It helped me build my problem solving. And how does it, I have proof of this. Like, I gotta put the study up here. I'll find it. Maybe Jojo, my editor, will find it, my boy. There was a study that just came out saying that people who rely on ChatGPT too much or a lot are showing definitive signs of cognitive decline and have an issue with reasoning, problem solving, and critical thinking. Now, that's a whole nother separate issue. But I'm talking about in gaming. Hone this stuff. Be proud of it. When you get a puzzle in Breath of the Wild or any of these games, and Odyssey, if there's a star you can't, or a moon you can't get to, Bananza, maybe you can't find something. If you do that after multiple attempts on your own, that dopamine hit you want, right? It's all legit. Yeah, you got through the obstacle if you look it up, and that's okay every now and then. I do it. Of course it is. But it's important to do it on your own. And I'm not going to get too deep into this yet because that's a whole nother video. But basically how I'm relating this to Odyssey and DK Bananza is that it's a nice way, while having fun, to build your intuition and learn that style of game. There's no better way, I don't think, to prepare for this game other than maybe playing DK 64. Because nothing is going to be as more complicated as nothing's going to be as complicated as that. I promise you. Alright, I know I started with 2 reasons why you should, not definitely, why you should play it first. So I'm gonna end here, the ending's strong. I'm gonna end it with 1 reason why it doesn't really matter if you do or you don't. I can give you an example, anecdotally speaking here. My cats are punching doors. Stop that. One of the reasons why it doesn't matter. The example I'll give is I played Super Mario Wonder with my fiance. Vic and I, we beat it. It was a great game. One of the best games we've played together. It was awesome. So fun. Now, we have the chance to, with the Switch 2 version, the enhanced version of Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, to play that game together. And I hadn't played it ever, but now that's got an enhanced version, might as well. I copped that in Odyssey, a super great deal. By the end of 2024, there was like a end of the year sale where a bunch of games were massively discounted. I got Odyssey and Super Mario 3D World for like almost 40% off each or something like that. It was crazy on the Switch store, the eShop, and I bought them before they even announced the Switch 2 versions, or that there would be updated versions. I was on a whim. I believe there would be when we heard that there'd be enhanced. At the time, all we knew, and it was very early on, was that there were rumors and rumblings, I think, at the time when I bought these games, that there might be. There's rumors there might be enhanced versions, and I think they started with Breath of the Wild and Odyssey. So I was like, let me just, whatever. But I knew I was going to play those games eventually. Anyway, we went backwards. And you would think that logically like, oh my god, like this is a worse experience, right? Because Super Mario Wonder, pretty much, give or take, is like, again, iterative but additive, expounded upon version of the game with more features and just more polished. Like they figured out the formula and like they figured out the recipe and then nailed it, right? No, it's actually not bad. It's actually kind of cool, man, because you get to see where it all started. You have an appreciation for it. The whole time you're going, wow, I see what they did here, and it's cool to be here now for, you know, the start of it all, to see it all. And then like in your mind, you're like, well, Wonder did this, but Super Mario 3D World did this, and then you're appreciating the music, and you're seeing how they do things with the audio mixing, and there's probably things that Super Mario 3D World has done better even now than Wonder. You know, there's probably things that just stood the test of time a little bit better. But either way, this is a reason why it doesn't matter. So we're gonna end it with that. At the end of the day, this is all just for talking points and just to think about it and see where you fall in. Like which of these 3 points resonates with you? Do you fall into the first one or two, or do you fall into the latter? You know, do you care at all? Does it matter? If you're someone who could share that perspective, the same one that I have, where you kind of just appreciate where it all started, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If it's eventually going to get, you know, you're going to get around to playing it, if it's on your backlog, then go for it. For me, I knew I was going to play these games at some point, and I'm very, very keen right now on finishing games when I start them. I'm tired of my backlog building up of games that I just played like for 10% of it, and that was it. So yeah, it's all just talking out loud and appreciating the games that we have coming our way, man. I can't wait. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. Peace.